In my intro, I told you how much I love educating and growing your skills to build that wardrobe of your dreams. So what I wanted to show you was how you can take your normal Bondi top, take the pattern and alter it to turn it into a tunic, a dress. You can make it whatever length you desire, which is going to completely change the look of this pattern and give you a lot more options for only one pattern. So let's take a look. First thing we're going to do is we're going to cut on that line. Now, a lot of times what I see is that people like to alter the length, right? Hold on, let me cut that. They like to alter the length at the bottom, so adding or subtracting from the bottom of the hem. Now, first of all, that's a little bit hard to do when you have curved hems or when you have facings and you're starting to alter and change the bottom of your garment. So what I tend to do, and which is easier, is cut on the short and length line. Now we're only working with rectangles, so no matter how far I drop this, I'm still only working with pure measurements. I'm not having to measure, mark, measure, mark, measure, mark. So I have an extra piece of interfacing here. And I'm going to line that up straight and then put some pins to hold it in place, or you can use tape. Now let's just say I want to lengthen it by 3 inches. So I'm just going to go and I'm going to mark 3 inches. So you only need just a couple of those. And then you are going to line that up, making sure that it's still lined up on the fold line. Okay. And then I'll pin that in place. And then you can zigzag over it. Okay, so that is just pure lengthening. Now shortening would be the exact same process, but then coming up slightly. So if you needed to make it a crop top, or if you were short-waisted and you wanted it sitting a little bit higher, you'd still cut on that short and lengthen line and bringing it up and then tape it into place. And this works on dresses, skirts, anything you make. Just look for that short and lengthen line. Now, if you wanted to lengthen it into a dress, the way you're going to do that is the exact same way, but me personally, my hips are much wider than what my waist is. So if I go straight down and I don't allow for my hips, then I'm going to go to put the dress on and try to get it over my hips and be like, oh, doesn't fit, and then when I'm walking it's just going to be so uncomfortable. So what I like to do is take that largest measurement of your hip and then divide it by 4, and then we're going to measure out and make sure that this comes out to where our hip measurement is. So, and then also you need to figure out your length, and for me a tunic would be, let's say, 29 inches. So I'm going to lay that down. And the bottom of that will sit at 29 inches. So then we're going to come out and make sure, then we're going to add our seam allowance. So if that's 10.5 plus ½ inch seam allowance, 11. So then we will pin that in place. Okay. And then we are going to use our French curve to blend these lines into one another so that there's a smooth transition from one to the next. All right, and then this is going to become my new fold line, and then this is going to be the outside perimeter of my garment. So not only have I lengthened it, you can lengthen it as long as you want to, but I've also accommodated for when it goes past my hips. Now, if you want more ease and you want it to bore a line, then obviously you're going to move that further over to the edge. But I find that this takes one pattern that's just a really basic top, and now it's going to expand and open up the opportunities for you to be able to have tunics and dresses. I mean, you could drop this all the way to the floor. So this one Bondi top can also be a ton of other garments as well.